What's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel, Jump Rope to Freedom. Good to see you again. Today's video is going to be a response to the podcast episode that Rush Athletics published about me. He also mentioned some other people during the video that he put out about a week ago. There were two other jump rope companies that he mentioned by name, and there were three individuals, viewers, that watch both his channel and my channel that he went after and mentioned by name. 6 entities, 3 companies, 3 individuals that he mentioned in not so positive of a light on his podcast. A lot of people have probably seen the episode. What I'm going to do in this video is go over the points in his video that I thought I needed to address, and then I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm just going to talk about some of the things that he said about me specifically and address those during the video. When I first listened to the podcast episode that he put out, it was 50 minutes long, and I listened to it about 5 or 6 hours after he put it out. And I actually put in my headphones, walked around my neighborhood a few times, put it on 1.5 speed. I listened to it at first, and at first I was a little bit taken aback by just the aggression in his voice and the things that he was saying, not only about me, but the other people and companies. But then after I let things sink in and I talked to a couple people about it, I realized that there was no need for me to get angry about anything. I didn't take any of it personally. There was no need for me to respond in anger or anything along those lines. I really just started feeling very sad that that video had to come out. For so much time and effort was spent making a video like that, and I felt that it was a pretty unfortunate situation that people took the time to do that kind of video and put it out and use information that wasn't necessarily true and that was picked from different portions of my videos that I publish, but it really didn't tell the whole story about what my channel is about. For the people who are subscribed to my channel, I think that you know what I'm about, and that you know that I take my word, my integrity, and my honesty very seriously. And that's the reason that I'm even doing a response to Rush Athletics video. I took that video as an attack against my integrity and my word. And that is something that I take very seriously. That's something that, if it is attacked, that I know that I need to publicly defend. My word is all I have. I've been in the military for the past 13 years. I'm active duty Army. I've been deployed 3 times. So I've been to Iraq once for 12 months, Afghanistan once for 7 months, and then Afghanistan again for 5 months. So I spent 2 years in a combat zone, leading soldiers in combat. And as you come up in the military, that's what you're taught as a leader, is that if people can't trust your word, people can't trust your actions, they can't trust your integrity, then you have nothing to stand on, and you are essentially ineffective as a leader and a person. And so I've tried to transfer those same values that I've learned in the military, as far as people being able to trust what you say, whether they believe you or not, whether they disagree with you or not. They can trust that you are being authentic and that you are doing your best to give them the most accurate information as you know it. I've taken that and tried to apply it to this channel. And so that's why I'm responding today to Rush Athletics. It's because I felt like that video, even though he may not have intended it to be that way, that video was an attack on my integrity, an attack on my word, and an attack on the honesty that I deliver onto my channel every time I put out video. So the first thing that I need to address that he actually started off with in his video is he put up a screenshot of a comment that I made on one of his videos about 2.5 years ago, I believe, saying that he was a main inspiration for me to start my YouTube channel. And that's 100% correct. He was. That was 2.5 years ago. That was when I didn't know anything about YouTube. That's when I barely knew anything about jump rope. I definitely didn't know the business side of jump rope, and I got to learn about that as time went on. And Rush Athletics was one of the first YouTube channels that I saw. But it was exactly what the comment said. His editing skills, or the people that he employs to put his videos together, whether it's him or whether whoever does his videos, they do an outstanding job. And that's what I was drawn to, was the ability that he has and that his team has to put together videos in a coherent manner that showcase how awesome jump rope is. That's what really led me to his channel. I was never even thinking about becoming a Rush athlete or ambassador or anything along those lines. Rush Athletics inspired me to start a YouTube channel, and I did that. And so for people to say that I fell out of alignment with his brand, or that I somehow owe him something for the skills, the little skills that I do have that I've been able to attain up to this point, I'm not really sure if that makes any sense, and I just don't really agree with that. He inspired me to start a YouTube channel, and his YouTube channel is great. He showed a lot of clips of me saying things about him. My review of the money rope, me saying that the rope is a little bit overhyped, that it's a little bit expensive. Yeah, I stand by all of that. But I don't think that him being an inspiration to start my YouTube channel should in any way affect my ability to deliver honest reviews. And if his rope is not a rope that I recommend to people, I don't understand how him inspiring my YouTube channel should affect my ability to deliver an honest review about his product. Or if I said that I would recommend his rope, when really in my heart I knew that it wasn't the best product for people. And so yes, Rush Athletics, he did inspire me to start a YouTube channel, but that doesn't mean that I owe him anything. I've given him props plenty of times on this channel. I don't recommend the money rope at all. I've used it. It's the only rope that I've ever used that has broken within 3 months. I don't recommend it, but that doesn't mean that he's not a talented creator and he doesn't put out awesome content. He does. He puts out outstanding content, and he knows how to make YouTube work for him to sell his products, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But the thing is, and I see a lot of this happening, I've seen a lot of this when I was growing up, just listening to a lot of rap and hip hop music, and just seeing it in life in general, is when people think that they inspired someone to do something, they feel like they somehow own them, or that they can't go their own way or do their own thing. It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to find inspiration somewhere, and then maybe you learn something about that source of inspiration and it turns you off from them and you go and do your own thing. And so I think that it's a tough case to say that just because you inspired someone to start a YouTube channel, and I admit that Rush Athletics did inspire me, that somehow I'm not allowed to talk about that I disagree with the motto, "They run, we fly," and I disagree with how much the money rope costs. I think I should be able to say that on my channel without being called out and without my integrity being called into question. All right. This was probably the funniest part of the video. There were a lot of parts of the video where I was just having to shake my head and smile to myself, because it really just didn't make a lot of sense. And it didn't make a lot of sense to the point that it was comical, where I actually was laughing out loud to myself. And that's not disrespect to anybody, okay? Not disrespect, but it's just the way that I perceived it, because I know myself, and the people that know me know that I would never do the things that Rush Athletics was saying in this video. And so I'm comfortable enough with myself to where when I was hearing things said about me that I know were not true, that I just had to laugh. It was the only thing I could do, because I knew it wasn't true, and I have faith and confidence in who I am. And so the one thing where the video really started to unravel for me was when he put up the video about the jump rope dudes that I did. Are the jump rope dudes good at jumping rope? And he claimed that I was trying to divide the community by doing an honest review and critique of what the jump rope dudes do when they jump rope, their form, and things of that nature. And this was another instance where Rush Athletics cherry picked information and put in information that was in the video, but he didn't include other information that was in the video. So he did mention something about me saying that Dan from the jump rope dude's style on the side swing was awkward. Dan's side swing is a little bit awkward, but it does work for him. And as you can see, if you take a look at what Dan looks like, he's healthy, he's ripped, he has a great physique, and it's obvious that he knows how to jump rope. So he picked that one portion out of that video to make it look like I was this arrogant, haughty person that does nothing but critique people. The problem with it, and the real problem with this, is that he didn't show the rest of the video. There are so many times in that video, and if you watch it, you can see it right now, or you can listen to it right now. There are so many times in that video where I'm giving both Dan and Brandon props for what they do. And I'll be the first to say it. The jump rope dudes do some awesome things. They've helped thousands of people lose weight. They're continuing to do that. And I got nothing but love for them. I've never talked to them before. I've never met them before, but I got a lot of respect for the things that they're doing. The video that I did about the jump rope dudes was meant for educational purposes, to see little tweaks you can make to your form and to see how the most followed jump rope channel on YouTube, how they get down with jump rope. That's all it was. And I know I keep saying the funniest thing about it, or the funniest thing about this, funniest thing about that, but this really is the funniest thing about this point. About 2 days after the Rush Athletics video came out, guess who came to comment on my channel? The jump rope dudes. Guess what video they commented on? You guessed it. Are the jump rope dudes good at jumping rope? And they commented on the video. It was a positive comment. I responded back to them and said, thanks a lot for coming by and showing some love. And that was that. And so if the jump rope dudes don't have a problem with my video that I did about them, I'm just not really sure what the issue is with me going in and doing a critique. But if you haven't seen the video, you got to go through it, because all I'm doing throughout the entire video is doing an objective review, but I'm giving props to both Dan and Brandon the entire time. I mean, I repeatedly called Dan a proficient jumper, which he is. He's a very proficient jumper. I give nothing but props on Brandon's double unders. I mean, you can go through and check it out yourself, but it's really sad because what that point was, it was just cherry picking information, just small pieces of information to make me look like I'm just this guy that goes out and critiques everybody, which I'm not. And that's when I realized how unfortunate and sad the video was, that the amount of time that went through to examine all of my videos and to try to pick little things out of the videos to try to make me look bad. That's when I knew that there was a lot of effort put into that video, and that effort into putting out something negative could have been put into putting something positive out. I think I have to address the tagline of the video that he put out. The creating hate, I think, is what he calls it. Those are his words, not mine. And I think that maybe that was used to try to attract people to the video, or maybe it was used as clickbait to try to shock people. Sensational title to draw people in and get views. I'm not really sure. I'm just speculating. But for me, hate is a strong word, and I don't think that hate applies to this situation. If you want to call hate me giving an objective, honest review about your product, me disagreeing with your slogans, skip the treadmill, they run, we fly, which I stand by that. I disagree with those. I think that they are dividing comments, even if you think that you're just joking. I think that those comments are exclusive rather than inclusive, and that's something that you have to watch out for, especially in the fitness community. You have to be cognizant of being inclusive versus exclusive in the fitness community. But hate, for me, especially over the past couple years with all the problems we've had in America, I think that hate applies to situations like what happened with George Floyd, rest in peace. Hate applies to situations like the 2017 riot in Charlottesville, where Heather Heyer was killed. And I actually knew her. I went to church with her. It applies to what happened at the Capitol on January 6, 2021. I think those are situations that you can make an accurate depiction of hate, where you can accurately apply the term hate. I don't think you can call what I'm doing hate. I'm not hating anybody by just putting out information on a channel that I know I didn't have when I first got into the jump rope space and I first started to discover jump rope. I didn't know anything about how jump rope worked. I didn't know what were the bad jump ropes. I had no idea. And so that's why I'm putting information out like this. But hate, man, that's a strong word, dude. It's such a strong word. And I don't know how you were intending to use it, but man, it just doesn't apply here. And I know that other people agree with me as well. Like I said, hate, that's for what happened to George Floyd, unfortunately. Hate is what's been going on with the Asian community for the past month or so, all those unfortunate events. Hate is what happened in the 1960s when black people were fighting for their rights and are still fighting for their rights today. And minorities are still fighting for their rights today. Hate is too strong a word to apply to this situation. So I wanted to address that I've never had my name associated with the word hate before. So that was alarming. That was something that definitely took me off guard, because being in America and witnessing all the things that have been happening over the past few years, I was like, man, I can't believe I'm being called hateful when we have so many examples of what hate really is. And I know that I'm not that. And I know I'm nowhere near that. That's not me at all. One of the toughest things about what that video caused was reading some of the comments that came through on his channel. And they were the typical haters are gonna hate and jealous. He's jealous of you. Keep doing your thing. The typical things that you would probably see in a video like that. But there was one guy in particular, and I'm not going to say his name. If you want to read his comments, you can go to Rush Athletics video and you can probably find him, because his comments are really long and he says a lot of very unkind things. But there was one comment in particular that made me wonder, if we're going to use the word hate here, who is really creating hate? And this guy proceeded to say that the reason why I use the ropes that I use is because I'm, quote, very short. And he was talking about my height. And then I actually was interested in what this guy was saying because of that, because that piqued my interest. And then I saw another comment that he had made about me on another Rush Athletics video, and he was making some of the same comments. He was talking about how tall he was and how short I was, and how for some reason the ropes that I was using, I could only use them because I was short and because I have short stature and things of that nature. And he was talking about how tall he was, saying he's 6'1" and I'm very short and things of that nature. So I've never actually released this publicly on the channel, but yes, I am shorter than the average male, I guess. I don't know if there's even an average out there anymore. But the reason why that comment struck a chord with me, and it didn't bother me, but it made me cognizant of just the craziness that people get into online. They become a completely different person when they're online. And they allow things to hype them up so much that they start making hurtful comments like that is because the reason that I look the way that I do is because my family has this recessive gene passed throughout the genealogy that causes a form of dwarfism. And I actually have two family members who I grew up with and who are older who have this condition, and they've struggled with it their entire lives. I've been with them before and seen people staring at them. One of these family members actually wrote a book about it, and it's a fantastic book. And I've watched them struggle their entire lives with this. I'm very sensitive to when people make comments about people's height and people's stature. And it goes to show that when you don't know somebody, you don't know where they come from, you have no clue what their background is. And for that guy to make comments about my physical stature, something that I have absolutely no control over, he has no idea why I am the way I am. He has no idea that I've watched two of my family members struggle my entire life, because they're much older than me, struggle my entire life with this form of dwarfism that they have. And they've made it work for them, but it has been a struggle for them. It has been a real struggle for them because the world isn't really built for people who are as short as them and who have the disability that they have. And so I say all that to say that when you're online, you have to be aware that you don't know any of these people. You don't know what their history is. You have no clue. And for that guy to speak those comments and for Rush Athletics to just look at it and say nothing, even though he doesn't know my background. Well, obviously now he does, but he doesn't know my background. He was kind of spurring it along and saying, hey, I appreciate you repping the RA flag and all that. It shows you how when you're a leader and you put out videos like what he put out, you can cultivate a lot of speech like what that guy was saying about me. And he has no idea who I am. If he's watching this video, he obviously does now. He may feel bad, he may not. My intent wasn't to get him to feel bad. My intent was to get at a larger issue that when you have a group of followers who are diehard followers like he has and like pretty much every other YouTuber has, everything you say, people are going to believe. And they're going to get wrapped up in everything you say because they believe in what you're doing. So you have to be a good steward of that. And to come out with videos like what he came out with is tough because it does the exact opposite of being a good steward of your followers, because then they go out and they start making hurtful comments like that, even though the whole point of his video was to say that I was the one that was, quote, creating hate. But then as a result of his video, he had one of his followers making comments about my physical stature. Just got to be aware of stuff like that. And I'm not bothered. I'm not hurt by it. I've dealt with those kinds of things my entire life. But seeing the immediate aftermath of the video that Rush Athletics put out when he was chastising me for creating hate, and then seeing what his video caused so quickly, was eye-opening. All right, the next thing I'm going to address is there were several parts of his video. It was later on in the video where he was really calling into question my integrity when he was saying that I was only recommending Crossrope products because I'm an affiliate of Crossrope, and that I said I wasn't sponsored by people, but that I'm an affiliate. I'm not sponsored by anybody. No one is paying me to do anything. I don't have an active partnership with people. I can hop on a Zoom call with you right now and I can go through all the correspondence that I have with all the people that I do deals with, but I'm not sponsored by anybody, and I'm still not sponsored by anyone. I'm an affiliate with ropes that I believe in, and those ropes are, just to name a few, the Crossrope Bolt, the Crossrope Get Lean set, the Crossrope Get Strong set, the Buddy Lee Rope Master, the Buddy Lee Versa Trainer, the Buddy Lee Aero Speed, the Elite SRS Pro Freestyle. Those are all ropes that I recommend, and there's more ropes on that list. But when I recommend a rope, I always have a disclaimer that says I have an affiliate link for these products. And the reason I do is because I recommend them. At certain points in the video, he said that, and there was one specific part where he started talking about me being dishonest when I was recommending the Crossrope Get Lean set over the Rush Athletics Money Rope. And then he started saying that I had Crossrope links in my video description, which I do. I'm an affiliate of Crossrope because I believe in their products and the quality of their products. But he started talking about how I have affiliate links in my video description and that I had some kind of side backwards deal with Crossrope. But then about 5 minutes later, and I'm not really sure why he did this, he put a screenshot of a comment that I made where someone came to my channel and was asking me, would you recommend the Crossrope Get Lean set or the Rush Athletics Money Rope for doing tricks? Which one is better for doing tricks? And I said, the Rush Athletics Money Rope is better than the Crossrope Get Lean set, in my opinion, for doing tricks, for doing freestyle type tricks. And so I just didn't really understand how, for nearly the entire video up to that point, he was talking about how I have all these dishonest intentions of recommending products that I know that I'm going to make an affiliate bonus from. But then he showed a clip and a comment of me recommending his rope, which I don't have any affiliate links for because I don't recommend it overall, over a rope that I have an affiliate relationship with. And so I guess I'm trying to hammer this home because I don't understand it, so I'm trying to understand it in my mind. He spends the entire video saying that I'm dishonest, but then he kind of defeated his whole argument by saying that and showing that I recommended the money rope, which I'm not affiliated with at all, over a rope that I am affiliated with. That if the guy had purchased the rope, I would have made a commission off of, but I did not recommend the affiliate rope, the Crossrope Get Lean set. I recommended his rope, the Rush Athletics Money Rope. And so I guess what I'm saying here is that the whole argument that I'm dishonest and that I am trying to get people to buy only products that I will get a commission off of is just not correct. Because if that was in fact the case, I would have been dishonest with the viewer who came to my channel for advice. I would have been dishonest with him in my mind and in my opinion. I would have been dishonest with him and recommended the Crossrope Get Lean set when in my heart I know from my personal experience, and this is just from my personal experience, that for tricks only and for tricks, the money rope is probably a little bit better of an option. And I made that recommendation to that guy. The viewer, I'm not sure what he did with it or what they did with it, but I don't see how I can be dishonest if I'm recommending Rush Athletics rope, which I'm not affiliated with, over the Crossrope Get Lean set, which I am affiliated with. Maybe I'm just dumb and I don't really understand, but when I watched that part of the video, that's when I started to understand that this is deeper than just me. This is something much deeper for someone to spend the first 35, 40 minutes of a podcast episode talking about how I'm trying to run his name into the ground, but then I recommend his rope over a rope that I'm affiliated with. To me, it doesn't make sense, but I guess maybe I'm missing something. The legacy rope comment. This one was very interesting, as was the entire video. So you're right, Rush Athletics, I have not used the legacy rope before. And you are also correct that in the comments that you put up during your podcast episode, where I said that I would recommend the Crossrope Get Strong set, I believe it was, over the RA legacy rope, even though I haven't used the legacy rope before. And he got really upset about that, saying that I should have used the rope before I recommended it. And I can definitely see why he thinks that. But I do stand by that recommendation just because I have used cross ropes since 2018. I have the same ropes and they have not broken on me. What I attribute this to is reputation. So I've used one of your products before, and it's the only jump rope that I've used that has broken so quickly. The name came off of the handle. It just wasn't a good experience. We'll use an analogy here. Let's say you go to a chain restaurant and you have a really bad experience, and then you're in another city. Are you going to go back to that chain restaurant and go and get something else? Probably not. Especially if you know that there's another restaurant that you've been to before that delivers good product and that treats you well and all that, good service, whatever. And so that's what I base it on, is reputation. I had a product that I had of yours. It wasn't a good product in my mind. It broke very quickly. The name came off the handles very quickly. And I just didn't have a good experience. And I had a good experience with Crossrope. Someone was asking me what my recommendation was, and I gave them my recommendation. And I stand by that, even though I've never used the legacy rope before. Now, if you want to send me a legacy rope, I will do a review on the legacy rope. I've heard mixed things about it from people who stop by my channel. On one hand, I've had people sending me Instagram message of the legacy rope broken at the handles. On other sides, I've had people tell me that the legacy rope is good. So I've gotten mixed reviews. I've never used it. If you want to send me one, I'd be happy to give a honest review on the channel. If you go through all of my jump rope reviews, I think I have about 31, 32 of them. First, your money rope is not the only rope that I have given a not glowing review for. There's been maybe 4 or 5 others, so it's not personal against you. It definitely isn't. I'm a very objective person. I use the rope and I give it a rating based on what I think. If people even care, I guess people do, because they come to my channel and they like the reviews and they like how honest they are. But if you want to send me a legacy rope, I'd be glad to do a review for you. But you are correct. I have never used the legacy rope before, but I didn't think, with the experience that I had with your product, that I would need to use the legacy rope in order to recommend another product that I've had outstanding history with to somebody who's just looking to get a jump rope and start jumping. Okay, so another thing that I wanted to address was the fact that I gave a 5 out of 5 in the performance category to the money rope, and Rush Athletics continued to repeat this throughout the podcast, saying that, well, I must like the rope and I must know the rope is good because I gave it a 5 out of 5 for performance. And he said that multiple times during his podcast. And you're right, Rush Athletics. I did give the money rope a 5 out of 5 in the performance category. But performance is just one metric that I use to measure and review jump ropes. There's performance, price to value, versatility, quality, and ease of use. And the real issue with the podcast episode that Rush Athletics put out is that he only used little bits of information and he didn't really tell the whole story. And so what I was having to do, there was people coming to my channel during that day that his podcast came out, and they were basically repeating what he said and commenting on my channel with unkind and disrespectful comments. And my only response to them was, hey, thanks for stopping by the channel. I'm sorry you feel that way. What I really encourage you to do is watch my entire video, all the videos that he's referencing, and then you'll actually get the whole story. And the funny thing about that is the one person that was just repeating what Rush Athletics said, and he spewed it on my channel. It was so funny. Once I actually said, hey, whatever his name was, if you watch the entire review, which I encourage you to do, you'll see that the entire story wasn't told. About 10 minutes later, for some reason, and it wasn't me, that comment disappeared. It's because I think because the guy watched the video, he saw that the entire story wasn't being told and that performance was just one of the metrics, and that I had rated the money rope poorly in price to value and quality. And so I just thought that was funny because once people actually started watching the videos that he was referencing and they watched them all the way through, they started to understand that only some of the parts of my videos and my content were being put into the podcast episode to try to make me out to be this guy, this dishonest guy that's trying to run Rush Athletics name through the mud and trying to turn the entire country of the United States of America against his brand, which of course I'm not trying to do. But I get back to the performance portion of it. So I have 5 metrics. If you have a product, it can perform well up until the point that it breaks. And that's what I think about the money rope. It performs really well. I stand by that. It's a 5 out of 5 for performance all day long. But if it's broken, then it really doesn't matter, right? And so it can be 5 out of 5. You can have a product that performs well for 2 weeks up until it breaks. But I thought I was gracious in telling the truth about the rope and saying that yes, it does perform well when it's working. But I guess that was something that he took offense to as well. And so I had to encourage people who watched the podcast episode, who follow Rush Athletics. I had to go and encourage them to watch my videos. I know I have long videos. Some of them are like 30 minutes long, but there is a reason why they're 30 minutes long. It's because there's a lot of good information in my mind that people can use to make informed decisions to get better at jump rope if they really want to. Rush Athletics had a lot of problems with me calling him charismatic and saying he was a master at selling himself and saying that what he's been able to do would be fascinating to study in business school. And yeah, I said all those things and I stand by that as well. Those are good things. I'm not sure why he took them to be bad things. He is a good salesman. You'd have to be a good salesman with the product that you have that was already existing under another name that you put your name on and sold to what you say 120 countries around the world, global market, which is awesome. Much respect to you. You have to be a master at selling to do something like that. Anything less and you wouldn't be able to pull off what you pulled off. So I'm not sure why he took that the way that he did and why he took offense to that. I'd see that as a compliment. I'd see that as a compliment to be that good of a salesman to where you're able to sell the products that you're selling, build the following that you've built, and have the impact that you've had on the jump rope space and the fitness space. It's remarkable. So I'm not really sure why he took offense to that. Not sure. I can't really tell you. Only he'd be able to tell you why he took offense to that. And you have to be charismatic to do something like that. That's something that should have been taken as a compliment. As far as the business school reference, so I can guarantee that if I went back to my business school that I went to, that if I wrote up a paper about what you've done, it would get studied in business school because of the impact that you've had on the global market and the impact that you've had in the jump rope space and how you've been able to take the product that you've taken and sell it to as many people as you sold it to. None of that was meant as a diss or disrespect. Me, I'm a very left brain person and I like studying business cases, and yours is a fascinating business case. And I stand by the comments that I made. They weren't meant as jabs or any kind of disrespect. I think that you took them that way, which is fine, but they were compliments. And what you've been able to do with your rope and all the people that you've sold it to and the following that you've attained, you'd have to be a master salesman to do that, and that's not a bad thing. Another thing that Rush Athletics said about me was that because I don't know what it takes to bring a jump rope to market, because I don't sell my own jump rope, that somehow that disqualifies me from doing jump rope reviews and making comments about how much his rope costs. And I definitely disagree with that. First, I've seen a lot of the videos on Rush Athletics channel where he's got all the boxes coming in and it shows how hard he's working on setting up his headquarters and his shipping process and all the hard work that he's put into making Rush Athletics what it is, which nobody can deny the work that you put in, and you deserve a lot of respect for that. But just because I haven't brought a jump rope to market, it doesn't mean that that disqualifies me from commenting on how much your rope costs and how it performs and doing a review on it and giving you a less than favorable review in your eyes. The other thing is that I do know what it takes to bring a jump rope to market. Just because I haven't done it, it doesn't mean that I haven't contemplated it and I haven't reached out to vendors and I haven't understood and researched the process. For him to make that claim about me, he doesn't know what I've done and what I've tried to do. I haven't put out videos on what I did in my research on bringing a rope to market the same way he has. I can tell you that I researched several companies, and what I kept finding was probably the issue that most people run into is that if you want to source a rope from an American company, it's going to cost a lot of money. And I didn't feel comfortable selling the rope that I had for the amount of money that it would have taken to sell it for because people could have got it cheaper from somewhere else. The other thing about it is I'm full-time military. I'm active duty Army. I don't have time to set up a warehouse and to start bringing in product. And I don't have the time nor the bandwidth to do anything like that. I'm not going to quit the military after 13 years because I love the military. I love being in the Army. I love serving my country. And I'm not going to quit doing that to open up a jump rope business. Maybe I'll do that when I get out of the Army. I have no idea. But it's my right to be able to iterate and change how I see fit for my life. And that's what I continue to do. So I'm quite certain that if I changed my mind today and I decided to bring a jump rope to market, that I could call the company that I was talking to, that I was closest with doing a deal with, and start the wheels in motion right now. And I could get product made and delivered out to my house within a month or so. Quite certain I could do that. So the thing about it is that he's making claims that I don't know about the business when I do. I just haven't put my whole life out there. I haven't gone through and made videos about me making calls to different jump rope companies when I was researching whether or not I wanted to make a jump rope. And so what I'm saying is just because I don't have a jump rope out there and I'm not selling my own jump rope, it doesn't make me any less qualified to review products on my channel. And the issue of it is that the price is completely divorced from the process. So nobody is really going to care how hard you worked if your product is too expensive. Customer cares about how much they're going to pay and if it's going to deliver value. And if your product is delivering value, that's awesome. Your product's delivering value to a lot of people. But for me, and I expressed that during my review of the money rope, the value wasn't commensurate with the price. And I'm allowed to voice that opinion on my channel because people know it's my opinion. It's my honest opinion. They might buy the rope, as many people have. They've watched my review, bought the rope, and they loved it, which is great. If people disagree with me, I welcome that. I'm always welcoming disagreement. But what's tough to deal with is somebody saying that you're not allowed to make that comment or your comments are not valid because you haven't gone through the process of bringing a speed rope to market. Yeah, to close things out, that video that Rush Athletics put out, it was interesting is the best word I can use to describe it. It was interesting. it was something that it was a first for me. No one has ever made a 50-minute video about me. I didn't even know that Rush Athletics knew who I was. He has almost 50 times the amount of subscribers that my channel has. He has 11 million more views than my channel has. So he's got much more of a influence than I do, and I just didn't think he even knew who I was. And so to wake up to Instagram messages for people saying that Rush Athletics has made a video about you, I just was flabbergasted and confused at that point because number one, I didn't think that anything I was doing warranted that kind of video to be put out about me. But number two, because I just didn't really think that he would spend any time making a video about somebody who is not as influential or not on the same level as him as far as influencership and social media prowess. Now, I'm thankful for everyone who's watched my channel. I'm thankful for everyone who follows me and for everyone who's subscribed to my channel. All I'm saying here is that I'm a smaller YouTuber. Rush Athletics is a bigger YouTuber, and I just didn't even think he knew who I was. But yeah, the video was interesting. I had thought that I was just going to go through and put his video back up and argue all the points that he made, but I realized that that probably wasn't the best thing to do. What I wanted to do was do the exact opposite of what he did. He put up a lot of screenshots of comments that I had made and comments that other people had made. I wasn't going to do that. If you don't think anything that I'm saying is true or you have a problem with something that I'm saying, you can go to the videos and look at all the comments. You can go to his video, scroll through all the comments. You can go to my money rope review and you can scroll through all the comments. Everything I'm saying is true. I wasn't gonna be aggressive in any way. I wasn't gonna be angry anyway. He was pretty aggressive and angry in his video. If there's one thing I do know, it's that when somebody comes at you and goes on the attack the way that he did, attacking back is always a bad option. You just want to return that kind of behavior with neutral behavior, neutral and kind behavior, and just keep an even keel, keep a cool head. And that's what I've done here. And that's what I did with everybody who came to my channel and made disrespectful comments. Even though he told people not to come to my channel, people still did. They made disrespectful comments. I had to report one of them because the guy was actually calling me names and things of that nature. So I had to report that to YouTube as harassing behavior. The other ones, I just don't think that the people knew what they were talking about. They hadn't watched all the videos, or they hadn't watched my videos all the way through. And I think when they did, that they backed off a little bit and understood that I'm not this guy that's trying to come out and run Rush Athletics' name through the mud. If I was trying to turn the American jump rope market against you, I mean, I definitely am not trying to do that. I don't have the time to do that. This jump rope channel that I do is something that I do on the side. I do love to do it, but my job in the military takes up from 05 when I wake up all the way until 1900 at night. So it takes most of my time. And so I just don't really have the time to do anything like that, to try to make the effort to turn people against you. And that's just not even me. And people saying that I'm jealous and all that, and that I'm trying to bring Rush Athletics brand down. If you came to my house for dinner and you got to know me, you'd understand in 10, 15 minutes, probably less, that I am not a jealous person, that I'm very content, and that I have a great life, and I love life. I love waking up every day. Every day I wake up, I record 3 things I'm thankful for, 3 affirmations. And I just don't have time to get involved in anything like that. All I'm doing these days, making jump rope videos, walking, exercising, jumping rope, reading, and doing my job in the military. That's all I have time for. So taking down a global brand and turning Americans against a global brand, Even if I wanted to do that, I just wouldn't even have time to do it, and I would fail miserably because I'm just not that kind of person. And so being accused of trying to take down a brand, trying to take down the Rush Athletics brand, that was a little bit funny to listen to because I knew it just wasn't true. And I know myself, and anybody who knows me knows that those are just some bold, outlandish claims. But that kind of speaks to the final point that I'm making here, and that I've said a couple times in this video, is that that video, I listened to it and I've watched clips of it subsequent to me listening to the entire thing. And the two words that keep coming to mind are sad and unfortunate. Sad because we use the word hate to describe what I was doing, and it's just not true. Sad that somebody went through the effort to make that video about me and the other two companies in that video, and to go and find the names and release the names of people, individual viewers who have been making comments on YouTube. Sad that somebody took the time to do that, and then sad that somebody took the time to edit a video like that. And I'm taking the time to do this video, as I said, because I feel like my integrity was questioned and was attacked, and I felt that I need to calmly respond and put a public statement out there to show people who don't know me who I am, if they don't know already. Rush Athletics, I got a lot of respect for what you do. I stand by my review of the money rope. I stand by my disagreement with your motto and your mottos, and that's okay. We can all disagree. It's a free world, and one of the best things about YouTube is people can come on there and share their views. I've given you props multiple times. You referenced, I think, 4 or 5 videos on my channel where I was saying things that you didn't agree with, but you didn't go through and find the other videos on my channel. I've done live workouts where I've recommended your channel to people. I guess you went and you found what you were looking for. You went and found things that would bolster your argument into me being this guy that wants to bring your brand down, and me being this dishonest guy that's out to make affiliate income, and I'm just not that. I wish you would have gone through my videos to find things that I said nice about you, nice statements that I made about you, the times where I've recommended people to go to your channel, the live question and answer sessions where people have asked me about you and I've said that you have a good channel and that you have great tutorials. I wish you would have found those things, because if you had, I don't think you would have made the video that you made. So Rush Athletics, people have said that they think you and I should be on each other's podcasts. Hey, even though you made that video about me, I don't hold it against you. If you want to reach out to me, you can find me on Instagram. You know what I go by, Jump Rope Veteran. That's my handle. Reach out to me anytime. There was one guy who made a comment on my channel that said, I really like both of you. Maybe you can be on each other's podcasts. I'm not opposed to that. You can reach out to me. So if you ever want to do anything, reach out to me. If you're ever in the Detroit, Michigan area, if you're ever in the 313, feel free to look me up. I'll have you over for dinner. We can go downtown or to a local bar, and I can guarantee you that the drinks are going to be a lot cheaper than what you said they were in England. All right, everybody, take it easy. I appreciate it. Thanks for tuning into this long video. I know it was a long one, but I felt like I needed to respond in a cool, calm, and collected manner to the video that was published last week. So until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, jump rope to freedom. Peace, everybody. Thanks for your support.